There's meat.
There usually is. There's poop. How's Bannerlord? Or not Banner, how's Mountain Blade going?
Actually, just finished up my run of that.
What does finish mean? Did you do take over the whole planet kind of thing?
Yeah, take over the region eventually, and then just retire from adventuring.
I've been paying attention to the dev blog that they post every week instead of the game that they haven't posted yet on the new one.
It'll get there eventually.
I hate to pick on them. I know that they're in a country that's in a little bit of turmoil, as far as I understand. I don't know what that does to their dev time. Where is my... Aren't I supposed to have, like, a timer? Oh, shit. So, like, I'm gonna put myself in front of that tracker, because it's annoying looking. There. If you need that information, you'll just have to parse it. Piece by piece. Oh. That's really good. I'm gonna use that right now. Joker. Yeah, let's do this. We're dead. But we resurrected a better character, just all around than she was. So there's that. When you play a lot of these kind of games, you really start to notice how slippery this really is. You just get used to it in Isaac, but it's a very slippery game. Everything is icy. Like, even now, at the start, I'm icy as hell. Thanks for sub fees.
Isaac, what the?
This is a powerful run. I can win with what I have right now, actually. It's over. It's finished. I just need to get to the boss. Yeah, momentum in this is handled strangely. Ah, shit. Thanks for subbing in, Jason. I have, I can't believe people voted for Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring on the Xbox again, but I have it still. I didn't destroy it, so that's on my agenda. It sucks so bad. We're gonna be playing as a better character, though, at least. Sort of. Relatively speaking. Other games include Tron and, I went through the list. The movie game is the big one. That one won all the votes. I think it's because somebody found footage of it and posted it in the patrons chat. It looks like garbage. I didn't know what it was. I still don't really know what it is. I think footage was hard to find. Oh. So I have the, Eve items, but I get to play as Judas with even boosted damage, even for Judas, high damage. It's not an Isaac stream without talking about how badly the balance is done in this, right? One of the things that Pills used to be was like a 50-50 on good or bad. It's a risk, you know, it's like a slot machine. But now that they've added so many, and so many of them are bad, it's more like you're playing against the house, and it really is a slot machine. Your chances to win are not 50-50 anymore. They're slot machine chances. And the jackpot is like Tears Up, which is not much of a jackpot. It's something, it's decent, but it's not worth the risk. I should not ever eat a pill. That's what I'm saying. They're bad. They're completely worthless. One of the first things I ate was Amnesia and I lost my map. So already I know that there's a bad pill in my lot. And there's so many in each game. It used to be like there was like 5 different types per game. But now there's like 15. So you're not going to even get a repeat that you know what it is. Unless you get the item that lets you know what they are ahead of time. It stinks.
Yeah, that's the pit that a lot of randomized games fall into. Making things have negative value, and the moment you realize that, it's like, oh, half these mechanics don't exist because only an idiot will use them.
Yep.
They're only going to hurt you.
Initially, in Isaac 1, or even this, when it first came out, if you had a bad pill in your lot, that's okay. You still would use pills because, like, you would just use them. That was the other thing. It used to be you would just use them because when you pick it up again, you'll know what it is, and there's only like 5 or 6. So if they're all bad, you'll find out soon enough, and you'll just avoid them after that. You know, that's unlikely then, but you probably will get something good out of it. But since they've added so many, and they're all bad, you'll never see a repeat, so you're never gonna know what the next one does. And there's more bad ones than good ones, and the bad ones are really bad. They're things like your map is gone, you take double damage on this floor, you just freeze in place, so you can't try and use them during battle. A lot of them are like that, where they do nothing. They just do nothing. They just do things like make you waste time. So they just are completely joke items. He went all in on that kind of stuff, actually. And then there's this Devil Deal room, which is... I have 3 of them now on this run. It's ludicrous how strong I am because of that. This is the real ticket to winning this game. If you have trouble winning this game, just get the Devil Deal. Restart until you get it. You'll win on that run. I've gotten in there twice, and I am unbelievably powerful now. I am unstoppable. My damage is 18. It's supposed to be 3. There was a room. Like... If we were racing, I'd feel pretty confident in winning against some of the best players in the world. With a build like this, they'd have to be pretty damn lucky to keep up, no matter how good they were. There are things that you could do that are better than this, of course, but I think the knife would be better, but it wouldn't come with 12 hearts and range and flexibility and all that crap. This is unstoppable. Being overpowered is fine, though. That's part of the fun of this game. I'd say that's this game's major selling point that has been ignored, is that, ignored by the developers, is that being overpowered happens all the time, and it's fun. It's good. It's a single-player game, and you're crushing it. I'm gonna go in here. There exists a room set. There's 2 types of secret rooms. There's your regular caves, like from the old games. Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay. It's in a room like this, probably. I don't expect to get anything good in here, but I actually got lucky and got some money. Usually it's junk. It's full of enemies. There's another one.
So,
go ahead.
The problem that exists in, like, the feedback loop of people who get good at the game complaining that it's too easy and then having the game change to accommodate them, you're listening to people who think my win rate goes up over time is a problem of the game and not you getting better at it.
Those people have memorized all the rules of all the random stuff. There's not really anything wrong with the randomization of it. They just know all of it. They have, like, Wikipedia knowledge of it. Like me. I know what Cricket Set does before I pick it up. I know exactly what it does. My damage is 29 now. And doubled. So it's actually 30 times 2. Oh, what have we got in here? So there's a secret room, and there's a super secret room, which they kept trying to make worse and worse. And now, it's so hard to find because it could be attached to any single room, and you have to use a bomb on so many edges. Like, on a floor like this, probably 20 potential places for it to be, according to the rules that I know. And inside of that room is going to be nothing. It's going to be completely worthless. That's what they did to that. Which leaves me not wanting to search for it. If I happen to stumble upon it, I will go in it and find nothing. Really weird, wasted mechanics. Like, could easily be good, balanced to be. I mean, if you're going for randomness, you just gotta, you know, rotate it back and forth on whether it's good or not. It's never good. They just never made it worth the time. I could just finish this run. I mean, it's over. I hate to do that though. I usually go all in on powered stuff. What's this? Oh, the shop is interesting because in this game, if you keep going in it, your punishment is that it stops being the shop, and it's greed. So you end up fighting greed about 30 times more than the other sins. If you pick up too much money, he shows up. If you have money to spend in the shop where you can actually use it, then greed shows up and you can't shop after all. He's there instead. Like he just was. So I'm at 56 coins, and I haven't been able to buy a damn thing this whole time. These are the issues. Just the core issues of this game. The whole design philosophy is like this. Not getting into yet even how hard they tried to make things. And they didn't really succeed. Like, he kept them all in making. There's 4 characters, I think, now who die in one hit at this point in this game. And it's still damn easy. Like, even with those. And a lot of these rooms, you just take damage in. You can't dodge. You just go in and you take damage. That's, game over, instant game over with those characters, and it's still too easy for some of these people. I don't know what the Endless Nameless does. Yeah, the original was kind of a mess. I don't think they thought the original game would take off at all. So the remake was, you know, let's make this game actually good and decent and run right. Not overflow all the time.
Blackjack.
Oh. There's a lot of skill in this game on the actual dodging and playing of it that make good players able to win with a lot of stuff, so they're gonna think it's easy no matter what. That's just the way it is. I don't remember when I should use this. I think I should use it on Wound 2 or something. They made a card game out of this. I wonder how that's doing. If you wanted to see these devs try and design a trading card game. Which I feel like historically is the least balanced of all games. Two keys for 6 bombs? I don't think.
Well, we noticed that opening packs was giving people a lot of cards, so now half of all packs are just filled with broken glass.
I don't think it's a digital card game. Yeah, I think it's a real physical card game that you cannot buy. You had to support it during the Kickstarter, or else you're not playing. And that was the pitch by which he would sell all the copies, is that it's a limited edition game. I think. I don't think you can just buy it. Maybe you can. Maybe I'm wrong. That was my understanding originally, was that if you didn't jump in on supporting this, then you were just not ever going to play it. Ever. You can buy it. Nice. It sold a ridiculous amount. Like, it was like 6,000% overfunded. You made millions of dollars on it. And it was just Isaac art, and just didn't seem like a lot of thought was put into a lot of the cards. Just seemed like your standard Magic the Gathering style, you know, Pokemon style game. Oh. Can't get the expansions. I mean, can you compete without the expansions? I would have a lot of trouble finding somebody to play with, I think. I don't know anyone who has it, as popular as it is. It just seems like it should have been a digital thing, but I don't know. It seems like maybe I'm the one who's wrong. There's obviously a market for this. Based on the numbers, based on how well it sold.
Well, if it's printed on physical cards, that means they can't ruin whatever it is by patching it later. Unless Ed breaks into your house with a marker. Starts rewriting all the text.
That's true. That also means any imbalances are never getting fixed. Which surely exist. So you're locked into version 1.0 trading card game. Wonder if you can data mine that. Yeah, I know there's original Magic cards that are banned in tournaments. I probably have a bunch of them. I have a whole box. I don't know what to do with them. I certainly don't play that. I tried when I was a kid. My sister gave me hers when she quit, so I have her set. They're like 1,000 cards. I know the Fireball card is one of them, right? Like, it just does straight damage and it's red element. I think I'm gonna buy that, whatever it is. What is this? Lord of the Dead. All familiars follow it. What the hell is the point of that? This game is definitely loaded with items that do nothing too. They keep adding more, but you just end up with a lot of items that don't do anything. I keep getting more and more power. This is ridiculous. The difference between those two items, like, this follower makes the other followers follow it. I don't even know what effect that could have. It doesn't do anything for me. Versus triple shot, I shoot 3 times instead of once. So now I shoot 5 times at once. And those are both on the same floor, ready to go items.
Yeah, like, a different roguelike might try to balance things like this by, you know, making you choose between more things instead of just letting everything stack onto the pile.
Choices are a good idea. But, I mean, they keep making more of the same item. Like, there's so many +1 HP items in the pool just to make it less likely that you'll get something fun. Or interesting, even, is the better word. Fun, not necessarily strong, just...
Yeah, that's the thing. Instead of trying to, like, put any controls on what's in there, they just shovel more shit onto the pile.
Hey, thanks for the sub, by the way. And you too, Rugadare. I have, I mean, if it seems like I win this game a lot, it's not because I'm great at this kind of game. I think I'm pretty good, but it's because I know what items do what, and I pick them up. Or manipulate them in, because I understand the RNG of it, and that's really all this game comes down to most of the time. I rarely have to put up a fight. Most of my fights are like this. I now hit for 28 5 times. every time I walk in a room. This game has a lot of items that are on a special list, which is, if you get one of them, your odds of getting the other ones shrink dramatically. And it's no surprise that the items on that list are what I would call the fun items. And they synergize together, which is a big selling point of this game to the original, is that if you got the lasers and the knife at the same time, something would happen instead of nothing. Something would go down and it would be great. But that's less likely because the knife is a special item. So these are, like, decisions that were made that are just wrong. I don't like them at all. Not things that are, you know, just mistakes of development, like the stats page here. For example, we know that my damage is outrageous right now. It says 7 out of 7 on this chart. It means nothing. That only goes up to 7, which is double original damage. My damage is 10-fold, and it doesn't display that at all. And I think also, what else? One of these stats only goes up to 4 pips, even though there's 7 pips on the thing. I think it might be shot speed or movement or something. One of these only goes up to 4, and that's its idea of showing you maxed out. And it means like 1.2 instead of 4 out of 7. I don't remember which one it is. That stat spread on the left is a new thing. That wasn't there originally. So you had only this weird stat display that didn't show you the stats.
Something's wrong.
What was wrong with luck? The original game's luck was great. It used to overflow, well, underflow, I guess. If you went to negative, like, 5, it would go up all the way to 255. It would just go to maximum luck, and it had a huge impact on the game. I don't feel like luck is a big deal in this one. It's barely even a stat. It helps you crit more and stuff, but those kind of items aren't very good. Even if they procced all the time, they still wouldn't be amazing compared to just raw damage like I have. I'm as small as my followers and I got confused where I was there. Damage scaling the bosses is the thing, yeah. That's a weird thing, I think. We'll be fighting one of those bosses here, because I'm gonna make it in time. In an effort to make this game harder, one of the decisions that was starting to be made was that your damage should be scaled instead of just being what it is. Guaranteeing that a fight will not end in any reasonable amount of time. Like the fight I'm about to do, coming up here after the next boss, is one of those. It sucks. It's so boring. I get what he was going for, but ultimately it's just an awful fight. Couldn't find a better way to balance things. And it's not just damage scaling, it's both. It's both, if you're hitting it too hard, it gets a bunch of iframes and shields, and it scales your damage so that you cannot kill the boss quickly. So it guarantees failure, and the best way to get around it is overwhelming damage that attacks quickly.
Well,
Even that.
if they didn't do that, then each run of the game might be different from the others in this roguelike.
There was
Who
some
would
kind
want
of
that?
some kind of obsession with keeping content locked and having challenges that were just nearly unbeatable, like characters that die in one hit was the first thing that he did. But the original character that died in one hit, if you look at him now compared to the new ones that die in one hit, is way better, because he kept finding ways to make them even worse. This one dies in one hit, and if it doesn't have any money, it also dies. That kind of thing. It uses money to open doors. This one starts with a bad attack, also dies in one hit, doesn't get free devil deals. No perks at all, just bad. That dude spawned on a damage thing. How does Keeper work? I forget. I haven't played. Like, that character was so bad that I kind of drew the line in the sand on it. I feel like I beat it once and that's it. Versus the Lost, I was one of the first people to bother with that. It was the garbage challenge run. I hate games adding things to kill you one hit. They always do it. It's their go-to bad challenge that they put in. Two health and money refills health. What the? Hearts are useless. That's kind of a side effect of characters like that, is that you get a whole bunch of stuff that does nothing. It does nothing at all. A character who dies in one hit who cannot extend their max HP. So every one of these max HP items, the 100 of them that exist, they're all worthless. They don't do anything. Items. I will start with the store. So I can buy a key. Here's a reference to a different piece of media. Thanks. Oh. Oh my. I don't know what this does exactly. Oh, he just brings you stuff. That's incredibly bad. It's just a Rick and Morty reference that had to be thrown in, because why not? And he just brings you items. Okay. Robbing stores, that could be handy. That's something at least. Too bad stores are so bad. Ugh. Well, here's this fight. I hate this fight. This is one of my least favorite things in this game. You get items for coming down here though, so my instinct is to put up with it. Which I shouldn't do. I should just never do this again. But here I am, doing it anyway. And we're gonna see that damage wall kick in. You can tell the instant it does, because that health bar is scaling and my damage just stops being so mighty. Also, this boss, if damage scaling wasn't enough, sits in the floor with iframes. 5 seconds at a time.
The health bar is entirely hidden behind your list of power-ups.
Oh, good. I'll move that. How's that?
Yeah, there we go.
So, I've chunked off this much of it. And now it's done. It's finished being chunked. These flies are immortal when they come out, for some reason. So, no matter how high my damage is, I cannot kill them for the first 3 seconds. And now he's immortal. So this boss does this a lot. Sometimes there's nothing on the screen and he hides in the floor for 30 seconds. Because it's got iframes. That's just what it does. That's how it operates. Get a lot of money. It's one thing if the boss is doing something while he's iframed, which he's doing now. You know, I have to dodge some annoying crap and wait here before I can do damage again. But at least I'm dodging. At least I'm playing. Sometimes you're not doing that, and I think that's the worst thing that you could do. Is sit around. There's not an animation to watch. There's nothing. It's just waiting. As far as dodging goes, if you play a lot of shmups, this is pathetic. You could dodge this in your sleep. It's really slow and easy. This was supposed to be, you know, the hard boss that they designed for players like me who play too much, but he's just not capable of that. I mean, this is nothing. This is like boss 1 in any shmup. It's so easy. Despite his best efforts. Damage scaling and all, it's still pathetic as far as shmup bosses go. You get hit in this fight by random garbage that is, I wouldn't call it fair. It kind of comes in off screen real fast. Those ice beams, they're faster than you sometimes. Like if your skills, if your stats are wrong, you cannot dodge it. Oh, the boss is dropping money because of an item I have. It's not the boss. That's my power-up. It's an okay power-up, but money has no value at this point, so... That's always been a thing with Isaac. They've never fixed it. Money after floor, like, 6 has no value at all. And there's 11, 12 floors? So, half the game. Half the game, one of the major pickups does nothing.
Yeah, every time I've shown up to watch a run of this, it seems like there's another further thing tacked on the end.
Yes. I don't have a problem with that, except for they don't think about how it works out very well. They stopped giving you item rooms after floor 5 as well. Well, I guess it's floor 6 is the last one. It's depths 2. So you get the basement, the caves, and then I think you're in the depths, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm missing one. But anyway, after that, you get nothing. You got the womb, this floor, and the chest, and you don't get any items until the chest. And that's only because of the way the chest is. The chest is the most fun thing in the game, and it's because they just throw items at you, if you have keys. Assuming you have keys, you get a whole bunch of stuff down there. I go that way every time because that's easily the best part of the game. It kicks ass. You just get items all the time. That rules.
I'm excited.
I don't know what these pills do. Speedrun of this game, I would expect to do all the things I've done in like 10 minutes. It's been 28. That's not too bad, but 10 to 15 minutes would be a speedrun with this character. Especially with what I got. And the way you would run this, because there's so many bad items, and you're trying to go fast, the only thing you can do is restart until you get something good. You have to. And that takes a while. Like 2 minutes of your 15-minute run are devoted to restarting until the game stops screwing you over and gives you something half decent to start with. Because if you never get anything at all, that run will take 100 years. There's a use for money. Sometimes these guys show up, so there are very rare uses of money. There's an item that uses money for damage too. But, I mean, let's talk about that item. At 99 coin, it gives you like 0.5, it gives you like 0.1 for 5 coins or something ridiculously low. So if you have 99 coins, the max, you get like 3 damage. I've got 25 and I shoot 5 times, so if it just gave me 3 damage outright, that wouldn't be that much. But it's based on money, and even when it's based on money, it's still not that much. And I feel like that's a problem of... You want items in your pool that aren't amazing. You have to have that, I think. But there's so many of them that don't have any value at all. Like, you look at them and you're just like, whatever. Yeah, bombing doors helps. Here's this floor. We only have 5 keys though, so I'm not gonna be able to enjoy it much. I do need keys to get items here. And sometimes you just don't get keys. I don't know what it is about this game that makes me always play it, though. Something about it is just fun, despite all those things. And I think it really is that you can just become an unstoppable force. It's interesting how many builds there are. There's a lot of cool stuff hidden away. Oh, 404 needs dropped because it just teleports you out of the room. I always say that this game is good despite its developers trying to make it bad. Like, they did their damn best to make this suck, and they still couldn't achieve it. It's still fun. We have too many different runs. My best build, it's hard to call which one that would be because they're so radically overpowered beyond what is even necessary or measurable anymore. And that's really neat, that there's that many busted builds. Like, I've had builds where the entire screen is a tier, and it instantly kills everything, and that's still probably not the most powerful thing I've had. I've been literally immortal, and I can just detonate, and the whole room explodes and gives me hearts back. And I have iframes the whole time, like, I can just smash that button. Which of those is the best? Which brand of immortality do you like? Crashing the game isn't too hard. I've had that a couple times. For sure. Hey, thanks for the sub. Beauty, what's up?
Isaac is still a very game.
Yeah, I once had a build where I was immune to bombs, and I spit bombs, and they exploded instantly. Which normally would kill you, but since I was immune to them, I would just use them as an accelerator to rocket myself through each room, blow the door open, and just leave. Oh, I would have gone and killed that boss if I noticed. Oh well. That would have been easy. That sucks. Wait, can I... What if I crash the game? Hold on. Maybe it'll let me go again. Let's see. I'll forward there. Will it let me, will it let me continue my run? No, damn, I didn't do it in time. Yeah, I feel like I need that boss, though. That boss stinks, so I haven't done it on some of these characters. Let me see. No, I did it on this guy, and that's who would have gotten credit, so it's done already. I'll do one more run of this. Then I'll switch to a new game. Eden. That's fine. That's random. So today, I was just checking because I was curious. Watching you play Mountain Blade made me curious. Bannerlord has been announced 6 years ago. Did they announce it when they started development? That seems really early.
Probably.
6 years. Going on 7. September. Man. 2012. I was excited about it then. I was getting ready to play it then. That was a foolish thing. I hope the multiplayer is good on it. I don't think it's gonna start with co-op. But maybe we can mod that in. Have the technology. I mean, that's one of the things that confuses me is Mountain Blade, I think, is one of the original early access games. So I expect that Bannerlord will be as well, and I don't know why it's not. They can give me that early access version. I'll buy it for $60. I'll play that right now. Throw it at me. I don't mind if it's buggy. They've got some playable form of it. They're not doing that, though. And I don't know why. It surprises me that this company, of all companies...
Yeah, however much of it is done has got to be a step forward still from what's out there now.
It looked great 5 years ago, and then it was playable 4 years ago at Gamescom, and they're just not putting that out, and it sucks. They're not very good at translating from, I think they're in Turkey, to whatever. They just don't put out English announcements of anything like that. It's usually less interesting news, like what kind of songs are in game, what kind of songs you can play, that kind of stuff. The board games that you can play in the bars is something. I feel like it's Turkey. I'm not 100%. This is kind of a nasty situation, man. Oh, this boss is easy.
Yeah, Turkey.
Mountain Blade being as clunky as it is part of the charm, but eventually you get tired of everyone just being on a ladder, stuck in place. And that's such an easy thing to fix too, and they never did. They've released all kinds of stuff for that game, and have you played multiplayer at all on it?
No, I've never used the multiplayer.
It's really good for what it is. It's very high skill, like astonishingly high skill. Like you would have a hard time killing somebody who's good at it if you weren't, because they'll use a two-hander.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because it's that parry-based stuff, right? They'll just block every swing that you do forever. You'll have to feint and fool them to ever land anything.
Like one-on-one melee fights in Mountain Blade are just straight up really good.
Yeah.
All the ways the combat gets janky is when there's 200 people on the field all swinging into each other.
So one of the things that happens online is there's friendly fire enabled by default, and that's almost never turned off. So melee friendly fire included. So if you're good and you have a two-hander and you charge into 10 guys and they're not good, the odds are that they're going to kill 8 of their buddies trying to kill you, and you'll easily kill the last 2. So you'll walk in there and kill 10 guys by yourself still, as if they're AI, and that's fun, you know? So that's fun to do if you're really good at it. I enjoy that. It's pretty good. So one of the other things to note about online is that the maps makes sense. The castle maps, they're not just ladder fights. There's like 10 ladders, 2 siege engines, all the stuff that doesn't exist in single player, and it's weird because they made those maps. They did not put them in single player. They're good maps, unlike the single player maps where you just...
Where it's climb the ladder and just keep punching until the map is over.
Yeah. All they had to do to fix it for most of those fights was just move those castles right on over into the single player, and they never did that. They never have. Like, if you looked at them, you would know right away, like, yeah, that looks fun. It's unquestionably better. I like going here. Oh, I don't know what the Book of the Dead does. The difference between the Game Boy and the Invuln book here is this one gives me a 30-second damage shield, which is crazy good, versus, not bad, but the Pac-Man thing is like 5 seconds of not being able to attack, but you can eat enemies, and they heal you if you eat enough of them. That's not bad, but I mean, this huge length of invulnerability is way better. I can just eat this and sit on the boss. I think the maps are the biggest problem with Mount & Blade. That and the mysterious flood of enemies that just appear. Like, you wipe out an army and they come back with 1,000 men out of nowhere. I feel like that's set on campaign AI. I don't know how they do that, but it sucks.
I'm pretty sure that all the AI lords just get free soldiers the moment you aren't looking at them.
Yeah, it sucks.
They don't have to recruit, they don't have to spend money, they don't have anything limiting them. They bounce back immediately.
I think the campaign AI might tone that down, but it doesn't. It's still like it should be a thing that's actually measured and matters instead of what it's not. Like, you can own land and stuff, and none of that ends up mattering much because it ends up just being a flood of soldiers, and you have to quickly take their territory when they're gone. If you get in a 2,000-man fight and crush them, that's still not enough. You need to capture the damn lords, or else they'll be back. They'll be back as soon as they can go home and come back. They'll be right back.
Yeah, in my Flores run, I went for a while playing legitimately, and then of course ran into the point of, alright, I'm going to start my own faction. Now the entire world is at war with me. 5,000 soldiers show up every afternoon to take down my shit.
Do you know about all those little cheats and stuff? Did you use any of those?
Yeah, I then turned those on, and then even while invincible and immortal and, like, effectively level 200 and wielding a gun, it's still a miserable slog to cut your way through all of these armies.
I wish you could attack more than one of them at once. But, when I found out, I was like 100 hours into the game when I found out that you could hold control in space in turbo mode. That was a big deal. Turbo mode the map, that is. I feel like that's a gentle cheat to use. That campaign is just too long, and it's because of that. That's why. I mean, you could just win. I'm hoping they fix that kind of stuff. But it is definitely a moddable thing that they're making, so one way or the other we'll get it. There was a mod for Mount & Blade 1 called Battle Time that let you do co-op online. And you would play as, like, the special units in there, like, the named guys. It was good, but it required a streamer. It's because they couldn't, like, broadcast the campaign. And what would happen is you would, anytime you got in any battle at all, you would save the game, go to your multiplayer, host a server, everyone would join it. It would load that battle, you would fight it. If you died, you would switch over to another named unit, descending order down the line until you're a peasant. You would save the results of the battle, go back to your single player campaign, load that back up, and take off from there. I was hoping, and it doesn't sound like they're going to, that they would implement that as a regular function, like actually built in and not so patched together, all that loading and stuff. Just, like, have you play the campaign and I'll be your general, in actual fights, and I'll just watch otherwise. Like, I'll just spectate the rest of your decisions. That's what I wanted them to do. Like Saints Row 2 style.
Yeah, that'd be a fun mode.
That would be the co-op I was looking for. They were thinking of something else, where they wanted real co-op with 2 campaigns at once or some unfeasible thing. And that's why they thought it was impossible. And I think they got the message on what we were asking for. And they said they'd work on it after the game's released, which... Man, it's just...
Well, you know, in 2030, when Bannerlord is ready, they'll get around to it.
I really want to play that. The co-op version of that that just sounds like a lot of fun. I would never stop playing that. Multiplayer is really good though. If everyone play Mount & Blade multiplayer, I'll join in on that. It's big. It's big battles. Like you can get 100 people in it, and still not max out the field. So it's that kind of thing. And you basically, how does it work? You get money to buy gear, and if you get kills, your next life will start with more money, and you can buy better gear. And if you fail, after buying like all the plate mail and stuff, you know, all that good stuff that you're wearing right now, is in there, and you can have it, and it helps some. It's not immortalizing or anything though, and you can't heal, so you probably will die eventually. If you die without getting a bunch of kills, you're just gonna end up as a peasant again, because you're gonna need money, and it doesn't roll over. It is a lot like Counter-Strike, yeah. It's like medieval Counter-Strike. You can buy bows and stuff if you were the right class for that. Bows, they're fine, they work.
I think what I'd really want to do with Mount & Blade is see if we could get a whole bunch of people together to do Napoleonic.
I would play that. I've played that before, it's great. That's multiplayer only and it kicks ass. Have you played any of that?
No, I haven't had a chance to sample it.
So, one of the memories I have is like, it's like 200 people, and they all line up in a line and take a shot at each side, as they do. And they're like 50 yards away, and not a single person dies. Everybody missed. Every single person failed. And then we just reload our guns for like 10 straight seconds and try again.
Damn right.
And I'm on a horse with my sword playing it like a regular Mount & Blade, because I'm really good at that. I've played that a bunch. So that's how you get a lot of kills in that. When people just are not hitting things. It's so historically accurate that skill goes out the window and you're kind of just at the mercy of your shitty gun. And I think that's fun. You might blast that horseman, maybe. There's a chance that cavalry will die if you shoot at him. And you're dead on with your aim, it might work. Everyone has bayonets and stuff. There are musicians. You can, I don't know what the buffs do exactly, maybe move speed, but you can play music and give them little, like, MOBA buffs. Little boosts. Most of the time, though, the musicians just, play bagpipes, Amazing Grace over corpses of their friends. Just piss around. What is this boss? Just a boss with iframes and attempted harassment.
Yeah, all the coordination, definitely part of the appeal there. Like, apparently the community is just very organized and all very in on trying to actually follow tactics.
Yeah, they definitely do. That's something I noticed, is that they really do line up in a line. They fight like British 1700 soldiers. They do. They extremely use those tactics because they work. The game is designed to make those stupid tactics work. You have your cavalry, and they're good, but they're no longer the best thing on the field. The best thing on the field is that line of dudes shooting at the cavalry.
Yeah, you could be the drummer. Drummer's real important.
Yeah. There's a drummer, flutist, bagpipes, and possibly some kind of stringed instrument. I can't remember.
Takes a lot of noise to coordinate people on a battlefield full of guns.
Yeah, let me know if you ever want to play that, because I'll get that installed. I've played it before. for a good 40 hours, probably. I played the multiplayer of Mount & Blade a lot, and that is definitely that, so... In some capacity, anyway. That's the advantage of Mount & Blade in general being the most popular of those kind of games, is there's always thousands of people playing. It's not hard to find a match. That might not be true in 2019, but at least in like 2016 it still was true. People really like that game. They just play it all day long. Stars. I'm doing alright, Zero. I feel like I might be getting sick, finally. I managed to avoid the con flu. But I'm feeling like maybe that's no longer true. Maybe it finally got me. Last night I did something really stupid. I felt really dumb. There's some taco meat on the stove I was trying to cook. And I turned on the oven, the burners. Thanks for the
A
sub,
slight
Fathers.
stream in my time zone. Oh joy.
I turned on the burner and I walked away and I forgot about it for like 15 minutes. Which was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. So I smelled it burning and I'm like, oh shit, that's right, I was cooking something. I came in there, it was destroyed, it was smoking. So I took it outside and you know, let it smoke out there. But I was like barefoot and shit, maybe I caught a cold doing that. But I put it in the snow to cool it down. And that ruled, that was fun. That made it all worthwhile, actually. Melting snow with a boiling hot, you know, pot. It worked. It cooled it down right quick. Well, it was just, you know, ground beef that we prepared for Mexican food, and it was leftovers. And I was just heating it up on the stove instead of in the microwave because I prefer that. Ooh. There's a chance this build will get decent still. It's not there yet. Oh. Well, that's definitely something I'm grabbing. I don't have to fight for it, though. It's gonna take a while. Boss rush. To get this and get out. It probably wasn't non-stick pan. I don't know. I'm not sure. It cleaned off pretty easily. I actually wanted the mushroom on the right. I was gonna fight for that, but Cricket's Head's definitely the better choice here.
Almost missed it.
I was hoping that one of my cards would get me out of here. There's so many that would. I didn't get the ones that would. We were talking about balanced randomization and stuff, and the cards deck I feel like is so much better than the pills because they're all beneficial. I think that's a better example of how items should have been done. They're all beneficial, some of them aren't great though. They've added some bad cards, but the original like 13 are all good. So this deck of cards is a really good item because of that. I have doubts that the Isaac board game's good. I haven't seen it though. I don't have any real opinions about it. It might be. You have to find somebody who has it. Somebody who knows card games too. I feel like both of those things need to be true. They need to be, you know, a trading games player and somebody who owns it. Versus just a fan who bought it to support Ed. Homing in here is really good. That's a really good find. Happy to have that card. For the entirety of the boss rush now I have homing scythes. Oh, crap. What else we got? I'm not surprised that some of the cards are imbalanced. I mean, that was my suspicion based on reading what some of them did. You have an example of an overpowered card? Boss rush finished. Don't I get another item? Yeah, okay, here it is. It's bad. But that's okay, I got something worthwhile out of that, and I lost not too many hearts for it. I think Rebirth was actually a really good game. Really solid. Like, 9 out of 10. It had some crashing problems and some design choices, but nowhere near as many as this does. Oh, buddy, thanks for the sub. When this game came out, Rebirth, I was really excited about it, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And as a YouTuber, I made a lot of money on those videos as well. Which was something I desperately needed at that time in my life. I was not doing financially great. That was around the time I moved and lost my job. It was before I opened Patreon too, I think. Pretty sure. Let's go left. The amount of money that I made on YouTube then compared to now was like 6 to 10 times higher. Even though my channel has technically grown, and viewership also has gone up. Actually, it's because I have thousands of videos now, and they all get views. So as a whole, viewership daily is higher than it was then, but I get like 10% of what I made back then. For some reason, I don't really understand why.
Algorithms.
I don't know how they work.
Nobody does.
I don't focus on YouTube at all anymore. I was in a crappy full screen contract that I couldn't get out of, and they were taking a huge percent of that money, too. But even with that, even with them not contracting me anymore, and they didn't do anything, they just took money. Even with that, I was still making way more then than I am now. Like, almost 5 times as much. Ooh. But it was never a lot, not for me anyway. I've never seen this boss before. He's really weird. Full screen sucked. They need 6 months notice to cancel a contract that you sign, turns out. And they put that in the fine print of the contract that you sign. So, I didn't know that. And I ended up being locked in their contract for 2 years. It's a 2-year contract. And I gave them a trash ton of time. Like, I gave them a year's notice the second time. And as the channel began to wind down on that calendar date, they started offering me more and more money to keep partnered and a bigger and bigger cut, closer and closer to what fair would be. They went from taking, I think they took like 40%, 40 freaking percent of my money for the nothing that they did to, they offered me like 20%, 10%, they gave me $2,000 up front, 10%, Like, that was the final offer. I'm still like, I was so pissed off at them that I wasn't even considering. They could have offered me 10 grand and I would have been like, nah, you guys screwed me already.
Of spades.
I was really happy when I finally got my YouTube channel free of that. That's kind of the reason why I have 2 channels. The Stream Archive would just be going right to the main channel, and I kind of regret it now. It should be, I should just have 1 channel, but the Stream Archive was never their property, and my main channel was. Collectively, those 2 channels generate something like $100 a month on the combined 3,000 videos that they have, and some of those videos have quite a few views. One of them has like 500,000, and none of that adds up to much. I make that much off of a bounty that does bad. Like, if I get the minimum viewership for a bounty that if I turn one on right now, I could make a month's worth of YouTube money. Let me see. Do I have any? Just checking, like I usually do. And like I was given the option to do some yesterday and I didn't. So those make that kind of money right there, just by themselves. And I get to play something I enjoy for an hour of work. I forget what the appeal full screen was. Psych was on them, and I was just kind of copying the leader on that, and that was a bad idea. I should have investigated it more. Didn't know what I was getting into. It sounded like they were going to advertise my channel and stuff, help me meet people to work with, that kind of thing. In addition to protecting me from people stealing my content, that kind of stuff. They didn't really do any of that. It's hard to tell what kind of an impact they had on my growth. I would say none, but you know, maybe they did. It's hard to tell for sure. I don't feel like they did. And there was no like agent or anything to reach out to me, and they had a bunch of resources like sound effects and stuff that I didn't use. So if you need that kind of stuff, I could see maybe somebody could benefit from it, but again, their cut is like 40 or 50% probably. 30% is like the minimum. That would be a good contract with them, I think. And that sucks. That's a ridiculous cut for what they do. That's exactly as much as it sounds like. Like, just, here's your paycheck. We take $40 out of every 100. I probably shouldn't have used that rune here. Oh well. It's a pretty easy boss. I should have saved it for the annoying boss that I'm thinking about doing again. Should I do Hush? What do you think, audience? What do you think? With this build, I might die in there. It's gonna take a while. Oh. Never mind, this will work. We gotta do it now, right? With our 2 HP. I've quadded my damage. I have a bunch of keys. And 2 HP. Oh, this is really good too. I happen to know, because I talked to speedrunners about this game a lot, that mulligan adds up to be like a 33% boost in damage. I don't know what the bone does. Bone tears. Mama Mega. This is a good thing to have found.
48-hour energy.
Okay, we can get homing in the room as well. So, here we go. I have 3 HP. Oh, the donation machine still breaks. Another dumbass thing. Like, just let me put the damn money that I earned towards it. But that's not the way it works. It still breaks. I got lucky. It does let you put in money faster, though, so that's nice. They have unlocks based on putting money into the donation bin, up to 1,000. But it sometimes breaks in 1 coin, so you can find it and not be able to use it. And of all the unlocks in this game, one of the most powerful ones is the store unlocks, because you get a bigger, better store with a lot of items in it. So you want to do that as quick as you can. Might take you a couple runs, because even if you have excess money to spend on it, which is already a sacrifice, like no matter how you look at it, that's a sacrifice made. You might not be able to put very much of it in. So the mulligan flies are going to help me get around the damage barrier. That's why this boss is dying so fast. There are flaws in the technology that he designed the formula on this. Guppy is the other way, obviously, because it's flies as well. To easily get around this shield. Oh crap. I'm down to 1 health now. It's gonna be close. I hate this attack. Okay, we're clear. I have 1 health to do the rest of the game, I think. Any of these any good? The stars? I don't think that's gonna help. I did, I hushed it. I got 1 health. I have a lot of damage though. I should be able to win this. I have, when I take a hit, I have, a black beam that shoots out, and if it kills an enemy, I get a black heart for that. That didn't happen during the fight, unfortunately. I could have broke even if it did, but there weren't any minions to kill. And then certainly wasn't killing the boss with that nonsense, so... That's not being used currently. I wish it was the other one where I could just make it on demand. It's just better. There's a heart. I'd say my odds of winning now that I found that heart are like 80%. Got the Joker. That's a good card. What's this one? Where's this go?
The stars.
Your reward for fighting Hush
Joker.
is, Oh, do I want that? I don't think so. It's less fun than what I have. Your reward for fighting Hush at all is a bunch of items, actually. So that's the only reason I even go in there, is because you get 4 chests, 2 item rooms, and a store. That's a decent amount. That's a decent prize. And you get it before you fight the boss, so that's nice of them. Actually, I think that's pretty generous. That's a lot of stuff. In my mind, it makes the suffering worth it most of the time. That's a lot of stuff. It didn't really pay off this time, but it usually does because that's so many options. And those chest rooms are doubles as well, which they all should be, but they're not in this game. But in there they are. You get 2 choices on each side. So you're very likely to get something. How to play with controller? It's in Rebirth it's default option. You don't need any special things for that. Whoa, any Windows controller should be okay. I don't remember what the 3 does. Should I step on it? I stepped on it. I think it re-rolled the whole floor. Yeah, it did. All the items on the floor got changed. I've never used a controller that didn't work. I use the 360 controller usually. Right now I'm using, and I always have been, ever since I bought it, the Wii U controller Pro. This thing kicks ass. I like it better than the Switch Pro controller. And it's wireless. It's really easy to get it to work in Windows. You just need a little adapter, like a $15 adapter. It also works for 4 Wii controllers, but I don't use those, obviously. Who would? Xbox One better work. Xbox 360 sure does. The Switch Pro has a worse battery life. That's another thing. I don't think I want to be able to shoot bombs. Not really. Regular Isaac does not support controllers by itself. You're gonna have to do some third-party programs. It sucks. Oh, what's going on? I don't think this controller supports Bluetooth. I just use third-party adapter. Never even thought about it. I'm getting used to the idea that my laptop has Bluetooth. That's new to me. That kind of stuff. My PC certainly doesn't have Bluetooth. Unless my motherboard has it, I don't know about it. But I think I'd rather have an adapter for that anyway, than rely on whatever Windows has built in. Rebirth is a better game anyway. It's fine. This is a ridiculous item. Well, this build is not. I'm gonna look around again until I finish the whole floor, but this build's not bad, but it's not like crazy or anything. Magician. Even the little bits that are breaking off also home in, so yeah. Now's our chance! Let's go fight the stupid other boss that has damage scaling. This boss is also immune to the one-hit kill item and some other things. Yeah, so they didn't design a new floor for this. They just randomized all the old floors, which is easily the most boring option. You could do it in an afternoon, as far as work involved. It's just every floor. Here's one from floor 1 that's just coins, ultimately. Coins have no value, so... And then there's a chance you won't find the boss. All the boss doors are just random bosses as well. That's good for me. I'm looking for items, so... Let's full clear this thing. I mean, is there really some deeper meaning to these levels? I don't pay attention to Isaac's plot much, I admit.
Well, there's meat.
How deep do you think the plot really goes? When he's in the womb, what does that signify? After just killing his mom in the level before it.
I'm sure Ed thinks a lot about these levels. Much as he thinks about anything else.
How about rapid bomb drops? That sounds good, I guess. I mean, so there's an item that doesn't make much sense. You have to use a consumable resource to do it. It's being used more quickly, so it's hard to control. Oops. The bombs, if you put them down too quickly, they blow each other up and push each other out of position, most likely into your face. So that is an actively harmful ability. I don't think I would play this game if I wasn't broadcasting it, which is why I didn't buy it on the Switch. So, it still gets releases. It's still on the Switch and getting updates. Hopefully by somebody else than that guy. Hopefully he handed the reins. I mean, that's all you have to do, really, right? Just let the community have a mod manager who handles this thing, and then your game would be okay. Relinquish control. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I understand. Thanks for the song.
Marathon.
So we have a pill that makes you spit up a new pill. Meaning that it's just waste your time. It's nothing but a 2-second waste.
Yeah, that's a blank spot.
It just gives you a new one. I guess it's a good thing because technically it removes one more pill out of the pool. There's a limit to how many types of pills can be in the pool at once, and that limit is really high. So you just -1 on that limit. That's all you did. Which removes a little bit of the randomness. Just a little bit. That's the effect. I am playing Time Splitter tonight. I don't know which game's next. Are you hanging out, Loon? Do you have a preference? Let me
I
get
think
my...
I'll be getting up to something else later.
Alright.
Had to go and get reminded that Mech Warrior 2 exists.
Have you ever played 4? The one with the FMV cutscenes?
A little bit.
I mean, I only play it because of those cutscenes. I'm a sucker for those. The bad acting cutscenes with the live people. I don't know how it differs from the older ones.
Gameplay-wise, they're all pretty consistent.
What kind of story is it? Does that also have cutscenes of some kind?
The sun.
Who's playing Mech Warrior for the plot?
I play it for the plot. In 4 anyway.
Well, 2 wouldn't have any cutscenes. 2 has a bunch of text briefings and a little bit of voice acting.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the big difference in me caring about the plot is the whiny nerd you play as in 4 being on screen talking to you all the time. It's like a bad TV show.
Yeah, just the caliber of actors that you can hire with the video game budget in the 90s and early 2000s.
It's like a soap opera with people from the local theater. It's like a soap opera except it's war instead of a soap opera. Yeah, this boss is dead. Yeah, I had Patrick Stewart and Lands of Lore. They paid 30 grand for 3 hours of him. That kicked ass. It didn't seem like they had 3 hours of Patrick Stewart material, but apparently they did. Apparently that just buys you a couple lines. Maybe they just had him reread them a bunch. Oh, that boss is a cheater. He just turns into other bosses real quick and anonymously gifting 10 subs. I don't know why it's playing that alert and not the other gift one. What is this ending? Hey, thanks for the subs though. Miscellaneous person. I'm gonna interrupt it and force it to play the right one. Well, here's this plot.
Skeletons.
Yeah, what does this mean? What's this deep meaning behind Isaac's death inside a box and he's missing? Think about that. It means something to somebody.
But yeah, apparently you can get Mech Warrior 2 to run pretty well on DOSBox. So I'm just fishing for a build of that.
I think I might have it somewhere. The disc. I learned how to use DOSBox the other day for Lands of Lore. If you want that, if you want to play Lands of Lore, I'm an expert at it now. There it is. Thank you for the subs.
This is a test.
We're gonna switch off now of Isaac here. Let me see. Video games. So it's 2 hours away still. This heap of trash. I'll do this in 2 hours.